Welcome everybody to the WVW Grand Finals. We've got a best of 5 between Hyperglory Team and Vici Gaming. I'm God, streaming me as K-Pop-Tosis. First time casting with you.
No, we've casted before. We casted Korean Dota together.
Oh yeah,
I'm glad
Is
I'm
that
so.
with me? Are you
Yes.
sure? Yeah. Okay. No, you're
I'm
right.
glad I'm so memorable. Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Jesus.
That was a while.
It was a long time ago.
Look,
we did like 2 games, but
it wasn't you that wasn't memorable. It was the Korean Dota that wasn't memorable.
Sure.
I don't.
What is this guy?
I don't remember Korean Dota. Okay, it's very easy to forget most of the time, at least. But we've got a best of 5. Vici Gaming coming through the lower bracket. You guys saw a bit of the bracket earlier on. It's a bit of an unusual bracket. There wasn't seeding coming in. Is
Questionable
all I can
bracket.
say. I'm not sure what happened to TI9 champions. I was expecting them to make a good run.
They'll be back in TI9.
Yeah, see them in a few years, but it did open up the top bracket. HGT versus LGD was pretty much to decide who was going to be in the grand finals. HGT actually took it 2-0, which was a kind of interesting matchup because that's like a somewhat preview of the TI4 qualifiers for China. But that was like a good.
That was honestly
2
like
weeks ago.
like the match that solidified the fact that LGD was not going to get a direct invite.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, LGD really were consistent beating teams like that. They beat Titan when they were WPC, but they just didn't do enough.
Yeah.
For Vici Gaming, they kind of ran the marathon, having to beat IG and Newbie on the same day, and they just crushed them. Like, they 1-0'd IG. That was when Chuan was playing carry, and IG were just like, who knows what they were doing. But they 2-0'd Newbie. That was a good game, and then they had the not-so-tough semi-finals. Team Talent.
Oh, Team Talent? What? You're selling them short, man. Selling them short.
I couldn't name a single player on their roster. I don't actually think we cast
Yeah, I
that
can't
game.
either. Yeah.
I think Malt was casting that game on High Ground TV, so not sure what
That
happened.
makes sense.
But we've got game 1 of the draft. We're going to hop ourselves in without much further ado here. Hopefully all the audio stuff's going okay. We're in our upstairs little backup studio for today, but we'll be moving downstairs soon. The Summit Asia continues later tonight. We've got 2 best of 3s there after this best of 5, so lots of Chinese Dota coming your way.
Indeed.
That's Vici Gaming. I think Vici Gaming is like, I mean, I don't think many people were surprised by their TI invite, although there were some people who were kind of like, did Vici Gaming get invited or not? But to me, they're a team who is very if they don't get top 8 at TI, I'll be quite surprised.
I would agree, just because Vici's been able to. I mean, they're really good at trend setting in the Chinese scene. I would say besides DK, they're probably the second most like trend setting team. Like they were really the first team that would run Lycan.
Yeah, the bristleback Pugna that we saw in EMS.
So I think Vici is going to be one of the teams that pick up the new patch faster than most.
Yeah.
Just because.
And they've never had that over-reliance. You look at a lot of teams and they have this over-reliance on the quote-unquote OP heroes. Like some teams, like as soon as Ember Spirit's in the pool, they take it. They don't. They'll take that Ember Spirit. They'll take that Invoker first pick, whatever it may be. Yeah.
A lot of teams have become reliant on Centaur over the last 2 weeks.
Yes. HGT being one of those teams. HGT have been first picking Centaur every single game they can. This time around, they're not going to get it because Vici Gaming have banned it out.
And Vici's almost like DK in the respect that they're going to run at they're going to run at you, and they're going to pick whatever they feel like.
Yeah.
So less so than DK, and like they kind of stick with more reliable supports, but they can surprise you with picks. So
we'll see.
I want to see an ROTK Huskar. I want to see him do what Admiral Bulldog did today, playing the off-lane Huskar.
Okay.
Let's see it.
And well, this is a grand finals, but it is around. We did a little research. $10,000 prize pool, US dollars. I think it was like 9,800 after conversions, but relatively small. But still, it's a best of 5 grand finals. So especially if Vici Gaming get up 1-0, 2-0, then we look to see some experiments, and that's where I feel like my predicted result is maybe a 3-1 Vici Gaming's fashion. I see them taking the first 2 games, maybe experimenting game 3, and depending how that experiment goes, it'll either be a 3-0 or a 3-1.
I would agree. It's a little too early to be taking that many chances because teams have been too busy to like practice and scrim on the new patch. So far we've seen like Centaur is still the most picked hero of this patch, despite getting nerfed. So
he just fits into every lineup.
He just fits in every line. He's good. He's just an amazingly good offlaner. Even now, he's less good than he was for sure, but he's still decent.
5
so,
seconds
but I mean,
remaining.
teams just haven't had a chance to try things out. So if you are going for a new pick, if you're going to pick like a Huskar
Reserve
or Ursa,
time.
it's something you haven't had a lot of time to practice, right? So teams in this big of a stage are rarely willing to make too crazy of a
This is
change.
where you need to start fiending pub games and just
There you
playing
go.
Admiral Bulldog, go play 50 straight games of Husker offlane in a row.
I honestly feel like that's where Alliance is going to have a lot of a benefit this patch because I feel like they can play so many different heroes because they've been around for so long and play so many random things that.
Okay.
Because Admiral Bulldog can just pick up and play Huskar, even though he gets like flamed for not picking a whole lot of like different heroes. Like His Huskar today was good, and Loda can play everything in the book.
Yeah, Loda to me is one of the most versatile players.
So Vici picks up the Invoker. How do you feel about Fire Invoker, as PPD calls it, X-Sword Invoker, not even getting touched? Nothing. Not
His
touched.
big thing was the Forward Spirits need some nerf. I mean, they got a pretty big nerf in the previous patch with the range being the main thing.
Basically, it took them longer to scale.
Remaining.
Yeah. I mean, they're still just so. The thing is, like, you're a bit less attack range, slightly worse scaling. End of the day, you still have 2 very tanky, hard to deal with minions that push really well. And you can't fight into them because they do big hero damage and the minus armor. It's like the problem when your team's pushing as 4 or 5 against you, you've got to engage in them, and doing that against Forward Spirits is just so hard to do. Yeah. And if you're combining Forward Spirits with Necrobooks, so minus armor with heavy physical damage coming out of the Necrobooks as well. Those Necrobooks at level 3 hit hard. So. Yeah.
And the fact that their HP scales off Exort, I think is kind of ridiculous because it gets so tanky, and you
you want to be maxing Exort anyways for your Sunstrikes and your Media Blast. Like
they get so tanky. What is it?
Dire team pick.
Yeah, every level of Exort gives him 100 more HP.
I feel like imagine if their HP scaled off Quaz, because very rarely do you want to max Quaz on Invoker. So I feel like that would maybe be a nice, or like some combination. Yeah,
you want to get that max Sunstrike damage because that's kind of in the meta for a lot of these teams, right? When you run Exort Invoker, it's all about getting supports and even carries sometimes if you go something like a Faceless Void that combo well, so you get easy Sunstrikes.
Yep. Well, we'll see what's going to be here. They banned out the Dragon Knight Hyperglory team, and that's partly because Silo's actually been playing a lot of the Invoker for Vici Gaming.
5 seconds remaining.
He's been playing safe lane farming Invoker.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe you can look up some of the stats. I don't know if it's like 50% of the time, 75%, or maybe just some of the time. But he's played a couple games of Invoker, and yeah, they go Storm Spirit. So it's a Silo safe lane farming Invoker. They do this like mass semi-carry strat where they don't pick a hard carry. Maybe you get like an ROTK Nature's Prophet in there, but that's banned out. So as far as offlane heroes go, there's mostly kind of your utility Nyx Assassin types left.
It looks like just about 50-50. 1, 2, 3, 4 games for Siler on the Invoker and 5 for Super.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay. So it's about 50-50. And I'm expecting this is going to be a Siler Invoker here. Or it might be a farming Storm Spirit.
That's true.
We normally see more like safe lane Storm Spirit than we see safe lane Invoker, unless it's a solo safe lane Invoker.
Yeah. Well, I think Storm does a bit better against the Ember Spirit mid. A bit better with the... Quaswex Invoker does pretty well there, but I don't know. Well, we'll see what Vici Gaming here. They've got the Rubik, so they can easily pair Rubik up with another strong support to try and shut down the Ember Spirit early. Ember Spirit has been picked up HGT, probably the hero for Kaka. Unfortunately, we don't know who Kaka is because of these... The new names are nice and all, but the Chinese players, some of them have set their name as, as their Chinese names.
Characters. So we have one of them's Kaka and one of them's 121, so we don't know who's who.
Okay, 121. Oh yeah, he used to use the nickname S, which is 121. So that's okay. Yeah, I'm not sure which is which, but S being the support player, Kaka being there, generally solo mid. Sometimes goes
10 seconds.
Yeah, it depends if XTT is running some random hero that needs to go mid. Wraith King, yes. This has been a really popular pickup this patch. 6 games this patch we've seen a Wraith King.
Okay. Is it winning most of these games? I mean, it's such a small sample size.
I think it's... Well, yeah, the win rate right now is a little low to like base things off of.
But the fact teams are picking it.
The fact teams are picking it. I think he's a good hero. I like support Wraith King a lot more than core Wraith King, but...
If you run him as a core, I like running core Wraith King with like a Shadow Fiend or something, because the Shadow Fiend can benefit so much from the lifesteal. Like having a good right-clicking carry as your solo mid. Like Shadow Fiend, Morphling, because Wraith King alone is not a good... He doesn't scale that great to the late game as far as damage.
Well, Wraith King and Sand King is going to be a no-no, so this is probably going to be a farming. Yeah. Well, actually, with a Mirana too, I don't know how they're going to run this. We'll have to wait on the last pick. Wraith King's 3 and 2 this patch.
Yeah. 3
so far. So
10 seconds.
This will be a farming Wraith King, I would say. It's not really a ZSMJ hero though, so.
No, it's
5 seconds.
I'm expecting a ZSMJ Mirana. Maybe they run an aggressive tri-lane with the Wraith King and a Sand King. That's a lot of kill potential.
Okay.
Maybe. And the Bristleback for Vici. All right.
Going back to his roots, RTK. Well, not so much his roots, but what he was doing. Like
was Bristleback even touched in the patch? No, there's something with his Warpath stacks.
I think it was like a small buff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like a tweaks to how the skill works. So if you wanna look that up.
I'm gonna look that up really fast. Yeah, it was the
There's
way
a
that
good
his
couple
first...
of weeks where we're just gonna have to have the patch up like constantly to remember this.
If I'm not mistaken, it was like the first stack of Warpath got better.
Okay.
It used to not scale as well, but it's like better this time. Let me check it out. Warpath no
5
longer has unique
seconds
values for the
remaining.
first movement speed stack.
What does that mean?
First bonus was 5, 7,
Reserve
10.
time.
Now it does the same all stacks.
Dire team.
And he got
Good.
Warpath. Okay, so it's worse at 1 stack of Warpath, but it stacks more. Like the Warpath speed stack bonus it was 1% for each stack, 2% or 1, 2, 3% for each
It
level.
starts up big and then goes up by like a small percentage time, but
Yeah.
now it's like a.
Now it's 3, 4, 5% at each stack.
Okay.
So the initial stack of Warpath isn't as good, but at multiple stacks you get more move speed.
So in theory, it's going to be a decent little bit.
10
it is a buff.
seconds
It's a-
remaining.
1 stack. I mean, how often are we seeing?
How
a
many
bristleback
stacks?
with
So
only one
it's like the
stack?
same. Like 2
remaining.
stacks, it's about the same. Would
Yeah.
you say, or
Radiant
how many?
team.
Like at what point is it the same?
At
2, 3.
At level 1, well, it depends on what level you are. At level 1, at 2 stacks, it's the same.
Okay.
Only the first stack is worse.
Yep.
At 2 stacks, it's the same.
And
at
getting a
third stack,
second
it's better.
spell off is damn easy.
It's
even if you don't have goo.
bristleback.
Even just getting a second quill, yeah, no problem.
And the axe. So this probably is gonna. XTT runs a
yeah.
farming axe.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
10
seen
seconds
HGT run a
remaining.
support axe. So or jungling axe. So I'm guessing
Yeah.
if they're doing sinking
Support Marana. It looks Pretty Hole picks up the Marana, so that's a support Marana.
support Marana. Okay, I like that a lot better than support Sanking and support Wraith King because that's just the
Yeah.
double King support. Sounds cool in theory, but that
Yeah.
no range supports means the lanes are going to be a hard time. So I'm glad that this is a ZSMJ Wraith King.
Okay. Yeah. It's not going to be like your main core farming hero. I wonder what they're going to do with this axe because you look at axe, he's not really a standard solo offlane type hero, especially against a tri-lane like this.
What they like to do is when they know they're going to get a solo lane, like they know that this bristleback is probably going to be solo, in the offlane, they'll run axe versus him. They'll put him solo safe, and so they'll run an aggressive tri-lane with this Wraith King, Sand King, Marana.
10
A
seconds
Hyperglory team likes to
remaining.
pick axe when they know the lanes, basically. I guess they think that the Storm Spirit tri-lane's going to happen.
It's super on Storm, so Storm should be going mid with Silo safe lane.
And then,
Prepare
so
for
I don't know how
battle.
they're going to do this. Like, is it going to be a Invoker
could-
tri-lane or do they run in the Invoker tri-lane?
Generally, they'll run Silo down there, and the supports will be with him, but they're just using pulls and stacks. Like it's just like
Okay.
your standard tri-lane versus offlane hero,
Okay.
where they're pulling, stacking, and trying to zone out the enemy offlane hero. They're not really trying to be too aggressive with a tri-lane.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, XCT likes to run it solo safe when they know they're going to have a matchup, a favorable offlane versus safe lane matchup.
So, all right, well, we'll see maybe him in the safe lane here. Vici Gaming Silo, boots first, going to venture his way out. He should spot these heroes in just a second. Yep, ZSMJ, he's in range for a stun.
Oh, this is going to be so bad. The
Arrow to
early game
follow.
fight is so good.
Oh, Sila's as good as dead here. There's a Burrow Strike, and that's first blood with HGT. Sand King getting the last hit there.
Nothing is blood on the sand strikes the perfect
He poked it.
note.
I thought he was going to get away. He had the boots first, but just in
30
range was the
seconds to
SMJ for
battle.
the stun. You should get some wards down now to block. If they're going offensive trial, you want to be blocking this pull camp.
Right.
Haven't revealed too much yet. ZSMJ's got mana for another stun. RTK is in range, but you need the arrow to follow.
Yeah, he'd be there.
Nothing happens.
So yeah, they are going to send XCT to the solo safe lane.
All right. Well,
We'll see some chops.
Yeah. Axe. I was talking about this yesterday with Ben. Like as a caster, Axe is going to be probably like one of the most fun heroes
battle
to
begins.
cast.
Agreed. Like the only heroes that come close are like Enigma and
What's my?
BTS God Sproink.
That's my name as I said it on the leaderboard.
That's your official name then.
All right, my official name is BT. Well, my nickname was Gods, and my clan was BTS,
clan
and my
name.
sponsor I made Sproink.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get a new sponsor.
Yeah.
Can I get a personal sponsor? Will y'all get mad at me if I get a personal sponsor?
Who's going to be personal sponsoring you?
John Deere?
Sure. I think
The very
fits
first
nicely.
agricultural sponsor for Dota 2.
Yeah, I mean we get like Axe and Red Bull on board, so some more lifestyle sponsors. I mean that is lifestyle when it comes to America, I guess.
Yeah.
John Deere is American culture at its finest.
Finest.
Yeah.
I'll wear a John Deere hat every goddamn cast.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
We've got a bit of a pause here. We can introduce our two teams here. Hopefully not too much action taking place. On the Radiant side, it will be Vici Gaming in the safe lane, Silo playing the safe lane farming Invoker, Fenrir on the Visage, FY playing the support Rubik, Solo mid will be Super on the Storm Spirit, and then finally, in the offlane, RTK playing the Bristleback.
And for Hearts Get Together, now known as Hyperglory Team, we have ZSMJ playing the Wraith King. Joining him down here will be 121, I assume, on the Sand King, who is a string of Mandarin letters. Pretty Haw playing the support Marana. They'll have XTT in the solo safe lane. On the axe in mid, they will have Ember Spirit being played by Kaka.
Alright. I like what Mirana just did there. They de-warded the pull, but Mirana just went and body blocked it.
Oh, another arrow set up.
Ooh, Sylar?
I think Sylar's dead again.
Yeah, that's a 5-second arrow, and Sylar with that. Oh, the lift is there, but one more.
Oh, the Barrel Strike is missed, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it takes it almost matters for Sanking as he gets close to going
This
down.
is such a good aggressive tri-lane.
Yeah, Invoker just does... Exort Invoker especially does nothing. He's gone Quas level 1. I imagine we'll see him go back for Exort, but he needs Cold Snap. Cold Snap's your only good tri-lane versus tri-lane spell, so he'll go back for the Exort after this. I can't see him going Quas Wex. They need the damage output of Exort.
No, yeah, he definitely will be going Quas Wex.
It's just...
Quas Wex is also like much more level dependent, I feel like. Because the whole point of Quas Wex is that you can't really like carry with your damage output. It's more about your disable ability. Yeah. And early points in Wex are just really bad for a lot of your spells.
I just slightly... I think in the long run, Exort's more level dependent. That I would argue because
in the long run,
that's why you see Exort Invokers go Midas, but Wex Invokers not go Midas because Quas Exort needs the levels.
That's true to an extent, but Quas Wex, like your right click doesn't matter, so the attack speed benefits you none. Whereas in Quas Exort, like your right clicks are actually somewhat strong, so having the attack speed is not completely awful. But I agree, you're right in that respect.
F1 and Fenrir have just abandoned ship though. They're getting the hell out of this bottom lane. They're
they don't need to stick around.
Well, they kind of do this lanes. Oh no, I mean the Radiant supports have abandoned ship.
Oh, the Radiant supports. Yeah, you're right.
They completely abandoned Sylar. Sylar's just going for a pull here, and they're actually smoking mid, but HGT are already there and waiting. And there's no one farming at this bottom tower. It's like a big creep wave here. Invoker will come back now, and oh no, the supports. They're going to scout out no pulls happening down. ZSMJ scouts the pull, and this is a big sign that the supports are either ganking mid or top. I'm surprised Ember Spirit is still pushed out here, because this is such a risky place to be, but it's actually top lane.
They're going to get a fairly easy gank off.
There's no way out of this one for XCT, because even the TP's in won't save him. So RTK. Actually does some nice speed damage. Sanky meanwhile kills the Storm Spirit. That was
so smart. He knew that they were going to be able to get the gank off and just went after the courier and killed it.
Nicely played. Alright, well, they get the kill in the axe at top lane, but HGT get a more important hero kill as well as courier kill at the mid lane. It wasn't his bottle on there. Was it his boots or anything?
Not sure. I don't have a courier bind.
Yeah, neither do I. Not up here. I'm gonna get flamed for not having courier bind. But
LD gonna give you a talking to.
I've been told so many times to do it and how to do it. I've just never had bothers. I always forget to. Slash don't do it.
So yeah, this is an interesting decision by Vici to rotate their supports to shut down the axe. I'd be more worried about the Wraith King getting out of control.
Well, they lost this lane. Like the supports can be down here, but they're not stopping him farm. But
I mean, they killed the axe once, but now he's going to be heads up and he's going to be safe. Like they can't rotate and kill him again.
Well, they have accomplished just getting like Sanking's had to leave this bottom lane. So in theory, if they get both supports off the bottom lane, then Invoker can just 1v1 the Wraith King. And even though Wraith King's got a head start, he'll struggle a bit to farm against Sylar. And Sylar, no Exort. He's actually going Quas Wex. Just deciding he needs to go recovery mode, maybe.
Alright.
I mean, it's nice always against the Wraith King to have the mana burn from the EMP.
That's true.
I've never seen him do the safe lane Invoker with Quas Wex.
I can actually look at his build and see if he's ever won it before. Yeah, that's very interesting. The problem for Vici in this, when they started roaming their supports, is that freed up HGT supports to roam as well. And HGT has much better roaming supports than as we see here, they can roam insanely easily.
Not even sure if the steering chain's landed, but they get themselves another kill there.
Oh, Fenrir.
There's no soul assumption damage. The grave chill not going to matter. So.
Radiant's middle tower
unable to do much. He's bought a flying courier, but unfortunately hasn't been able to apply it just yet. The courier's still dead for now.
Yeah, like I said, the issue when they abandoned that lane, they just freed up Hearts Get Together supports to just roam all over the map. And Sanking Mirana has a lot of kill potential.
That's the thing. Sylar, like right now, can do okay 1v1, but once he supports decide, okay, Sylar's got enough farm, he's had enough time alone, let's go gank him again. That's where he struggles.
All right.
Sanking's really low. He's actually I'm not sure what he's doing this far out still. He just needs to go back home and heal, or at least bring some regen out to himself. I can't get back bottom without getting spotted by this Observer Ward.
Yeah, the 4 times Sylar's played Invoker, he's never won Quas Wex.
I imagine the plan was to go Exort this game, but once the tri-lane made him lose the early game, he just went... Quas Wex is more like a... You can still be useful with no farm. I feel like Quas Exort, if you get shut down, you're completely useless. Stun, arrow to follow. They've leapt in. Sylar's dead again. The tornado not even gonna get cast.
All that matters.
Really nicely played. These ganks are just...
The only thing going on for
learned nothing.
Hyper Glory team right now is that ZSMJ is not getting the kill credit for any of these skills. That's the only thing.
You know, some players like AUI would argue that the
That's
support
true.
getting the kills is better. Like this is,
That's
especially support like Marana. Like
Yeah.
we'll see a fast maybe Medallion or I think an Urn is maybe what
Ern
Marana's
would be
gonna get.
okay, yeah. Especially if they're going to refight it, they're going to keep up this aggression, and Ern would be very good.
And ZSMJ's got free farm. He's top CS by a decent margin, so a couple kills
Radiant's
here or there,
bottom
not going to bother him
tower
too
is
much.
under attack.
And it's not like Wraith King's like a true anti-mage who's trying to rush a battle through. There's no item that Wraith King has to meet
Nope.
on a timeline. It's not like you've got to meet that 13, 40-minute battle through. Wraith King, it's like you get your blink or your armlet, whatever it may be, just whenever you get it.
I mean, he's level 6, so he can fight, right?
Yeah.
That's the best thing about Wraith King, is at level 6, you have a lot more freedom than a lot of support, hard carries do at level 6.
Vici Gaming getting, like, the only thing they've accomplished this
Radiant's
game is
bottom
one smoke gank
tower
to
is
kill the
under
Axe, and
attack.
Axe is the hero who's kind of meant to die.
Oh, and another arrow on Super, and he just gets blown up.
Misper did get himself into a tricky position. He'll go down. He didn't need to really commit to that one.
Yeah.
Bit of a
Maybe
mistake.
throwing out both of his spirits, not leaving one behind, was kind of a mistake.
No, he could have. He didn't even have to spirit in. He could have just gone for like a sleight of fist with some right clicks. But it's unfortunate, but it's a much needed kill for Vici Gaming, really.
Yeah.
Rubik getting the last hit for that one. So we'll see what FY can do with a bit of farm on his Rubik. Well, no, he's probably his most signature hero.
I would agree. They're really...
The other thing, at this point, HGT, like they've got the good early game start. They've got Wraith King farming. They've got mid lane Ember Spirit doing decently well. This is where Sand King says, look, you guys are fine now. I can go into the jungle, farm up my Blink Dagger. He's got 2 points in the Sandstorm. Looks like Axe is going to either stack this again. Maybe, I don't know if he's going to farm it himself or just leave it for the Sand King. I think he wants his Blink more than the Sand King does. He's actually a lot closer to it.
And the only real natural BKB carrier for Vici is Storm Spirit, and he doesn't want to go early BKB. So this Sand King, if he gets a really early Blink online, his Epicenter is going to do a lot of damage.
And as much as BKB is nice against the Epicenter, like Sand King has an insta-stun. Like you can blink Burrow Strike before the BKBs pop, you can blink Call. There's a lot of actual disable that BKB isn't going to help against. Like compared to like a Centaur whose stun has a cast time, you can't dodge a blink Burrow Strike.
And so yeah, so they can just focus on the Storm Spirit. And as long as you stun the Storm Spirit...
How do you save him? You haven't got that like disruption, swap out, there's...
There's no Dazzle to help
maybe
you
a
out.
Tornado. Like that's your best bet is
Yeah,
Tornado.
that's about it.
But speaking of Tornado, he's only got 3 points in Weck now, so he's catching up a little bit. But this is gonna be a tough one to decide.
Yeah, it's hard to say that the draft was that
you
bad because we're in
fancy
hindsight
that,
now.
do ya?
But
I think it was okay. I think they just kind of HGT once they start getting kills, you lose the laning stage. Like if HGT didn't get that first blood. And then didn't get that follow-up kill on the Invoker, the laning stage would have been a lot better. Like they can, sure, Invoker trial lane's kind of weak, but they still could have done it with pulls, and just playing passively.
I just think Vici's lanes might have been a little too transparent, right? As soon as they picked the Storm Spirit and the Invoker, you knew that like there was one way they were running their lanes, right?
That's true.
And so Hearts Get Together was able to like, okay, we can run aggressive with these heroes because they picked a Mirana early, which can fill either role, and then they were able to pick an Axe, which is just a lane winner in a 1v1 matchup. And so they were able to just win the lane, like lane guessing war, right?
Yeah.
So.
He's tanking now, coming to clear up this neutral stack. Axeman, get away! He's throwing the aggro. It's one of those things that you can just
Let me
like
farm, please.
you can't even stand near for experience because you actually draw like aggro of neutrals. Like as soon as you come near, XCT, okay, he's gonna help out. It looks like he wants that last hit for his dagger.
Help out. Okay, he's still hit. Still last hits.
Thanks 1-2-1. I'll take you. He's even. Oh, they split it up a little bit. So Axe gets his Blink Dagger, Sand King gets some
This is
gold.
an interesting straight rush. I think the last time I saw XCT play, he got. Did he get Tranquils first before he got his Blink? I'm not sure.
I've seen both
Invisibility.
from Axes.
Radiant's
I really like the
middle
early
tower
Tranquils
is
just
under
because
attack.
if you are kind of having a bad time, you can do the whole dropping the Tranquils trick and you can farm up the jungle a lot easier to catch up to your Blink Dagger. I think Tranquils actually make your farming a lot faster on Axe if you're having a bad time early, but he was having a decent time, so I was able to just Blink.
Oh man, this is been a lot of trouble bottom lane. He's got Tornado and Ghostwalk, the two best defensive spells you could ask for, but you stun into an arrow, it's going to be very dead Invoker, I imagine.
They don't have any detection, so they'll have to get the long range
He could
arrow.
dodge the stun using a Ghostwalk.
Yeah.
If he's feeling, that's only if he thinks he's in trouble, because ESNJ could just be going for a casual like Wraith Fire Blast to Wrath.
Right.
I think this is it. He wants to get him when he goes to the range.
Got him. Oh, he dodged it. Good job. That's where you got to pump fake it. You got to pump fake the right fire blast.
The problem was, like, that was his only moment to go in. Like, it was when he went for that range creep, and as soon as he ran forward, the fact he wasn't just going for, like, you know he's not going for a casual harass when he runs forward like that to really, he was committing.
You pump fake it, you stop cancel it, and make him maybe pop the ghost wall.
Under attack. Radiant
It was a tricky situation. I think Silo, he seemed very aware of the fact that Mirana could be nearby going for that kill.
I mean, it's true, and even the fact that they didn't get the kill was almost just as valuable because it meant, hey, I'm not safe here. I have to leave.
Dire's structures
He's just
are
singing Ghost Walk, even still.
Right.
Not farming anyway. Has phase, has 23 CS, so he's caught up a little bit. But ZSMJ, 76 CS.
Radiant's bottom tower
He's gonna have.
You don't think of Wraith King as like a true, like he's not a fantastic farmer. He just doesn't miss CS those years.
Is under attack. Dire's
Okay,
top
gets himself
tower
a tower here. Double TPs. These are going mid lane. It's actually initiation on mid. They've gone on the emissaries. They're fire room to get out. He gets one. He needs another one.
Oh, what an arrow by Pretty Haw!
Which is maybe gonna be enough to save the emissary. He can fire remnant and TP home. He does just that. Leaves the fire remnant mid and.
Pretty Haw is having the game of his life on Mirana.
It's like reminiscent of the new element Mirana we saw yesterday, where when you hit these arrows, you have that game. Boy, does your early game go well.
He was able to he's been single-handedly like setting up all like a majority of these ganks, saving his mid heroes, like putting pressure on the entire map and still getting like kills so he's able to farm and get an early earn. Like this is top tier Mirana support player right here.
He hasn't got any earn challenges yet, so he picked up the earn after getting all these kills and assists, so we'll see what's going to come next to him. ROTK is the one who's done best on the Vici gaming side. He's got his mech treads. He actually went bottom lane, got the tier 1 tower deny as well, and he's bought an ogre. He's bought an ogre club, so he's even starting his BKB. So.
Does ROTK generally, it might be a Sanj. I doubt it. I think, does ROTK go for the really early?
A lot of the Chinese players rush BKB on Bristleback after their mech.
Okay. Does he usually get mech, or does he generally go Vanguard instead? Because I haven't seen...
The Chinese players, I think, commonly go mech. If they don't have another mech buyer, they almost always go the mech on the Bristleback.
It's actually been a while since RTK's played Bristle, right? Okay, so that's why I've missed out.
When they had their like little Bristleback Pugna strat, he might not get it because the Pugna would get the mech. Okay. But if they don't have someone going mech, almost always, I think the RTK would get the mech.
I think a BKB is a good idea for Bristle here. He wants to just be able to, like... They're going to have they're going to have a hard time fighting against this team mid-game. So having a BKB to withstand some of this burst magic damage that they're going to have, I think is smart.
We'll see. Side of the top lane now, starting to work on a 4-staff, I can only imagine. He needs all the survivability he can get.
And 1-2-1 has his Blink Dagger.
That's a scary thought. They've got double Blink here with Axe and Sanking, and if Sylar tries to defend this top lane...
They have so much initiation power on this team.
Mid lane, they've gone in, they've got to kill on the Vici here. ZSMJ needs to find a way out of this one. He's still got Reincarnation though, so even if they kill him... That's the respawn here. ZSMJ gets Mana Bounty, Magic Wands up after it, so he does get the Reincarnation off. Slider Fist coming through from the Emissary. Blink, Burrow Strike on 3. Tornado comes through, like, Axe with the blink, Cole catches out 2, dead FY. Gonna be a dead RTK as well. The chop is in there. He misses the chop. XTT, it's not gonna matter anyways. RTK goes down to the ZSMJ right click.
Oh, and the sinking. They're one on Super 2.
Super's low, he's out of mana completely. There's a
careful.
He's got armlet, he can armlet toggle this one pretty nicely so far. They've killed 3, they've lost no one. Has there even been a buyback? No, just the Reincarnation being used.
And that's just the strength of having a hero like Wraith King, that if they think, oh, the Wraith King's by himself, we can get him, and they get the kill, but the other team's able to react so fast, and they have such good initiation tools in their Blink Daggers and Mirana Arrow that they can just re-engage so fast.
Yeah. Sanking got a Burrow Strike on, I think, 3 heroes. The Axe got a call on 2 heroes. And they thought they could kill ZSMJ and like EMP him so he didn't have Reincarnation, but he just saved the Magic Wand. All those charges for after the EMP, and he was just fine. Not to mention, like you say, he stayed alive so long that his team could get there because of the early armlet.
Yeah.
He's got armlet bracer.
He ate so much damage too. He's able to run back almost into the river, and they caught him out at the tower. So,
well, this is a really bad sign for Vici Gaming. We were talking about Vici Gaming coming in as heavy favorites, looking for like a probable 3-0 or 3-1.
3-1, yeah. We both agreed on that too. But Hyperglory team.
Look out for these guys. And this is a good sign with the TI4 qualifiers coming up, because often it just feels like they're very inconsistent. The big problem, like that's the thing. Like you can say they're playing really well this game, but next game or even just next series we see them play, like they're still in the Summit Asia in the lower bracket. Who knows which HGT team is going to show up?
Vici's going for the smoke game, but I don't think they're going to find him.
They may just go for this T1 tower. Someone does need a TP at some point here.
Middle
With these
tower
trees top down, I think they see them. Yeah, the tower should give vision. Yeah, they see. Normally these trees are here, but
Radiant's top
Oh,
tower
they're gonna go.
that's a 4-hero call, followed up by an arrow here. Axe has just gone mad mode here. Blink, Burrow Strike, Epic's coming from the Sand King. It's a double kill. FY going to be the third, it looks like. The fourth is going to be ROTK. The Axe does pay for it with his life.
Did they not see that the trees are down?
GG!
GG!
That Axe, man.
Wow.
That was just like, what do you do? Like,
Radiant's
normally this is a
bottom
fog
tower
spot,
is
but
under
these trees were
attack.
Did they
chopped
not
down.
notice?
They should have.
Dire
Like,
victory.
the tower sees them, they see the tower. It works both ways.
That was just like showing their ass at them, right? My
And-
God.
And they thought, like, Storm's like, oh, I'll pop this remnant up and, like, to give us some vision, but Axe knew they were there. He blinks in. He's not going to just walk into you unawares.
And Vici was smart. Like, they realized there was no chance. They had a completely mid-game lineup. Like, there was
Yep.
no way they were going to be able to come back from this.
Well, in surprising fashion, I'm glad we started off our best-of-5 grand
Wow.
finals with a bit of an upset, which
Yeah.
does make things a lot more interesting here.
Sets the stage, right?
Yeah. It is a best-of-5,
Alright.
so we've got at least 2 more games coming your way, and HGT have shown up to play. It's very early in the morning in China. This is the grand final starting at 11 a.m. China time. Like, when
That
it was
is early for
rescheduled
them.
2 hours earlier, and I was like, oh, it's at 11 a.m. now. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, I'm glad we're actually
Okay.
awake and we know about it, but I'm just thinking, like, for teams, it must be kind of weird to just suddenly, like, have to play at 11 in the morning, especially for Dota players. Like, you're normally used to playing
Yeah.
at, like, 9, like, evenings.
Did anybody have to, like, skip classes at university or something?
Not for
Like,
Chinese players. They're, like,
Okay.
full-time. They probably, I
They're
think,
generally full-time? Even
Vici
for, like,
Gaming-
even for, like, Hybrid Glory Team?
they're
Okay.
a actual, like, when they renamed Type of Glory Team, that was, like, they're now a properly sponsored team in a team house, as far as I know.
Yeah, I know Chinese Dota is a lot more serious in that respect, but okay, that's good.
Not many teams actually are Speed Gaming, I think, is one of the few teams with students.
Okay.
But I think most teams are full-time players. But game 1 in the bag. Vici Gaming now going to be playing from behind in this best-of-5, guys.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, game 2 of our grand finals between Vici Gaming and Hyper Glory Team is going to be underway. Stay tuned for more Chinese Dota coming from Beyond the Summit.